me read you a few things women leaders have told me behind closed doors. I stay quiet in meetings because I don't want to sound stupid. I'm exhausted from over preparing and still feeling like it's not enough. I know I have something important to say, but I bite my tongue because I don't want to make waves. I have so many more of these, and maybe it sounds familiar to you. These aren't random complaints, they're complaints of a much bigger problem. There's a silent tax that women leaders are paying every day. And right now, it's time that we all stop paying it. Think about it. Now, I like to take this all back to nice girl training. You know, as women, when we're growing up, especially if you're in my demographic group, if you're in my age group, um, we were taught to be well behaved. And if you're well behaved, you're going to be rewarded. To don't rock the boat, respect your elders. My favorite, which thankfully was going out of date when I was born, was don't speak unless you're spoken to. But it was all about control and keeping women in control. And when we got into the work field and started trying to advance our leadership, we found out that style didn't work for us. And so you saw women trying to emulate other male leaders. And unfortunately, a lot of male leadership looks like control. It's performance based. It's, I've gotten here, I'm here, and now you guys are going to follow me. And it's, I've got the spotlight now. So listen to me and I'll get you there. And then women came up and started doing the same thing and became more aggressive, angrier, and a lot of times pushing other women down even more so than male leadership. And I hear this time and time again. And again, that all comes from this performance based because, I worked hard to get here and now I get to tell you what to do. But let's take a different look at that because there's this incredible loss in businesses, in entrepreneurship, in leadership, in executive leadership. There's incredible loss when we don't listen to other people. Every single time a woman is told to bite her tongue to keep the peace, or telling herself, because a lot of times these messages get ingrained in us, we hold on to them because we're nice girls, and nice girls don't act like that. And there's almost this sense of shame and humiliation if we are to come out against that because it's not expected. It's considered wrong. You're not being humble. You're not being respectful. Stay in your lane. But what if there's incredible information out there in your team? What if there's an amazing answer for you out there if you would just allow other people in and make them a part of it? This is something that happened to Indra Nui. I've been studying her a little bit more lately, and she's just been absolutely fascinating. She was told to act like a man. Right? They wanted her to be more like a man, to stand up and you tell people what to do. Right? She was the CEO of PepsiCo. And she thought, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. I totally reject this model, and I'm going to lead authentically. And in doing so, she allowed people input into her leadership. And she also listened to her intuition. And there's a fascinating story about how, because she followed her intuition instead of what all of the other leadership and Wall Street were telling her to do in PepsiCo, instead she started following and making decisions about health and putting Pepsi in more of a health type company. And it made her company, PepsiCo, flourish while she was CEO. So, and yet women are told to keep quiet. and other women are telling other women to keep quiet. And here's Indra Nooyi standing up and showing what true leadership is all about. Because true leadership, a leadership that isn't performance based, but rather has the ideal that we are all in this together and we all need to go forward. It's based on community, upon connectivity, and standing up for yourself. I just recently had a conversation with a woman, actually, it was last night, and she was saying that one of the difficulties that she has is she'll get these intuitive hits, whether it's intuition or God, wherever you get your intuition hits or believe that they're from, that she gets these hits and she feels powerful and she wants to share this information. But she's found that there are some leaders, and this mostly happens with women leaders, that when she wants to say something that she's shot down, that she's told she's not being humble. She drives me crazy. And yet something that she has to say, especially if it's an intuitive hit, may be exactly what that group needs to hear. Now, a powerful woman who is not afraid of the limelight being stolen, what's that all about, will listen to that, will be humble herself and just go, yeah, because if we're honest with ourselves, we don't have all of the answers. We may have a lot. If you're in leadership, you probably have a lot of answers. But to say that you have all of them is ridiculous. And it keeps you lonely and it keeps you doing all the work. When instead, leadership is really about pulling people in. So, what if you're in the audience and you're the recipient of what's being said and you have something to say? What would have happened if Ruth Bader Ginsburg kept her silence? What if she didn't fight back? Her dissents changed law. Imagine if she was actually if she stayed quiet so that she could fit in and go along with the group. That's not the kind of leader we need. It's not the kind of leader you need to be. Your voice is powerful, your voice is important, and you are not in control of what other people think of you. You are only in control about what you think of you. And if you're walking away from a meeting going, "Wow, I really wish I had said that," it's time to start saying it. It's time to start stepping out and sharing that power that you have inside of you, because that power is real. That power is amazing. Women are amazing. Women leaders are phenomenal, especially when they step into sharing and using a more collaborative methodology of leadership rather than, "Hey, I'm on top. This is my performance now. I'm in control." To me, leadership, true leadership, and some of the best examples of leadership aren't about control or obedience, right? It's visibility and power because you are. It's about connecting with others and catalyzing people. There's even, a report, let me make sure I get this right, the McKinsey report. Companies with gender diverse leadership outperform financially by 25%. Not necessarily because of just simply because of diversity, but because of listening, but because of sharing ideas with each other, because each person being found worthy of participation. That is a leader. That's a leader I want to follow. Somebody that recognizes my contribution, and I want to be the kind of leader where I accept other people's contribution. Now, in the end, the leader has the final say, but without that contribution, we're all stuck, small, unheard, and weak, disgusted, frustrated. when we're heard, when we are allowed to express those parts of ourselves. And, I hadn't thought about this, but sometimes when you're caught in a position where you are always disagreeing with the leadership, maybe it's time for you to step up and be the leader. Mm. Your silence doesn't make you kind, doesn't make you it actually may make you the favorite. It makes you complicit in shrinking your own power. It's one thing to say that, someone I didn't speak because it would have upset someone. You go home, what if somebody in that room needed to hear what you had to say? What if because you diminished your power and you didn't say what you needed to say, what was on your heart to say, what was on your mind to say, what was in your gut to say? What about that person that needed to hear that? How would their life change if you did speak? How would your life change? And we're so concerned about being attacked for who we are, for being attacked for speaking our truth, and yet we need that so desperately in a world where our humanity is being challenged on a daily basis, where our recognition of having having the same rights as another human being, that we are humans and not divided by color or, as president would say right now, they're pretty much anybody that isn't white, Christian, straight, that there's hell to pay. And this is devolving into something I wasn't planning on talking about, but our silence in this moment is not leadership. This is a time when we need to stand up. We need to stand up for who we are. We need to stand up in our humanity. We need to stand for helping one another. What if Oprah Winfrey, uh, had just kept performing and kept doing what she was told to do? We never would have had the Oprah Winfrey Show. There are amazing women out there that we never would have heard from, we wouldn't have examples of if they hadn't stepped up. So think of this as your time to step up, your time to step into your power with your voice. Where are you gonna stop biting your tongue? Your power is needed. This is exactly what we uncover in my one-on-one coaching, the Reclamation Forge, and would love to hear from you if you wanna work on this quicker for yourself, if you wanna stand up in leadership, if you wanna stand up for your words, even when it feels like it's scary. Because what's scarier is you not stepping into who you are. Because the world loses magnificence when women don't speak up. I'm Deidre Beecham, Visibility Catalyst. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care.